Our last agency is the engineer's office, and welcome to the commission chambers, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer. With me today,
Jennifer Fish, Director with Franklin Stormwater Conservation District.
Nikki Lemon, Assistant Health Commissioner and Director of Environmental Health for Franklin County Public Health. Amelia Costanzo, Planning Manager with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission.
Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering for the Franklin County Engineers Office.
Commissioner, we have basically two budgets to present to you, one for roadway and the other for stormwater management. So Fritz and I will go through the first part of the presentation dealing with roadway management. The roadway management program has, well, actually 5 programs. First being roadway infrastructure, bridge infrastructure, emergency response, survey, and mapping. And this is a slide that you will see repeated as I work through the presentation. It'll bring us back and let you know which section we're moving into. Before we get into what we've completed in 2017 and what we're looking forward to in 2018, I wanted to show this slide, which represents capital improvement projects that we have targeted for 2018 and beyond. These are a total of about 38 projects, and I like to point out that they're spread throughout Franklin County. So multiple townships, multiple municipalities, some roadways, some bridges, some corridor studies. So first, the roadway program. This slide is what I like to call the on time and under budget slide. It includes our measures for those 2 factors, and so far we have surpassed both measures as of November. This slide shows the measures for snow and ice removal as well as for signalized intersections. We have either met or exceeded both of those measures. Now I'd like to touch on some projects that we've completed in 2017. And I should say before I go much further that I'll try to, in the interest of time, go rather quickly. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, just let me know. So this project in 2017 is along Hamilton Road from Rocky Fork Creek north to Johnstown Road. It was a coordinated project including Gahanna, Ohio Department of Transportation, and Franklin County. Included 2 roundabouts, curb and gutters, drainage improvements, and a bridge over Sycamore Run. Then in the northwest part of the county, in the Hilliard and Columbus area, we had Riggins Road. This is a new east-west route connecting Avery Road and Wilcox Road. So we built a new intersection there at Avery and a new roundabout at Wilcox. And again, coordinated with City of Hilliard, City of Columbus, a local developer, and Franklin County. This project is in the southeast part of the county along Winchester Pike at Ebright Road and Shannon Road in Madison Township. And this is a photo from our project completion ceremony. The project added turn lanes to all legs of the intersection, widened the bridge over Black Lake Creek, and built a new traffic signal. Looking into the future in 2018, we have a project planned at the intersection of Morse Road and Kitzmiller. This project will include a single lane roundabout and reconstruction of the bridge over Black Lake Creek. Further to the north, at the intersection of Smothers Road, Schott Road, and Red Bank Road, we have another single lane roundabout planned, and this will be a coordinated project with Delaware County, Ohio Department of Transportation, and Franklin County, as Smothers Road is right on the county line between us and Delaware County. The 2018 recommended budget for roadway infrastructure is approximately $32.7 million. So now we'll move into the bridge infrastructure program. Our key results measures have both been met in terms of bridge ratings and bridge inspections, which again, Commissioner Boyce, we appreciate you going out with us on some bridge inspections.
Did you do that one?
I was gonna say, was that
That was the underwater inspection, wasn't it?
Underneath that bridge?
We did, we actually did go under where there was a little, you know.
Under
water.
this one? Yeah?
No,
Not
not
this
that
one.
one.
No,
I
not
didn't
that
have my
one?
snorkel gear on that day. But yeah,
Yeah,
you should have included some of those pictures.
that's true.
My hard hat on, and my safety
You should have
jacket.
just.
I missed opportunity, didn't I?
Yeah.
That picture,
We
you know?
didn't see any snakes or,
Hmm.
rodents or anything. It was great.
Okay. Well, this project is on Smothers Road over Hoover Reservoir. It was a coordinated project with Delaware County also, and Westerville, County Engineers Association of Ohio, built by Kokosing, and they did excellent work.
If I could just add, and I do wanna say though, because I don't wanna overlook some of the bridges, you know, it's such, what I learned most from that experience was, the safety that is instilled in protection of our residents.
Yes, sir.
And all of the inspections and review and even those projects are rooted, everything is rooted in safety.
Mhm.
And, and so now when I see a bridge, I don't, right, now when I see a bridge, that's all I think of is safety. I'm thinking there, remember all the water corrosion issues that you all taught me?
Mhm.
And so I'm just looking at that thinking that those look corroded, those beams, no, I'm teasing.
Him and his bridge
did.
inspection.
But the bridges, I'm totally into the bridge inspections, man.
What?
Totally
He
into the
didn't
bridge
do that.
inspections.
You didn't inspect that bridge?
No.
Where is that, like in the Florida Keys?
Serious?
Wanted to do that
Yeah.
one.
I'm sorry, engineer, please continue.
I think you're right. We often pass these resolutions on bridges and look at the bridge report and say, oh, that's great, but don't pay attention to the safety. And it is a safety issue. I mean, you see across the country, bridges that just crumble.
Yeah.
And it is a safety issue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's up at the reservoir.
Yes,
Where
sir.
did you take him to, see a bridge?
So we visited Trayview Road over the railroad tracks, it'd be a little bit east of Walcott. And then we also looked at the bridge on Trayview close to the golf course, a little bit west of Hague.
Near the golf course.
Mhm.
That's why.
We didn't golf 18 holes.
Yeah.
When I went out with Dean, he took me to the, railroad over Alkire when you guys redid that, when the railroad redid that bridge right there, just west of, 3C.
Correct.
That's been 5-6 years ago now, probably.
About that, I'd say. That was a great project, award-winning project, in fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Award winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he took
Major
me there.
award.
That's why Dean took me there. He was showing off.
Yeah.
I didn't go to an award winning bridge when I went with.
He also took me out to the beach bridge,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to jump off that one when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
So he wanted to show me how the
How to do it safely.
No, the improvements to the bridge. It was a pretty impressive bridge. It wasn't impressive when I was a kid. It was much smaller than it is now. So.
Okay, well, next.
Now you've heard all our
Yeah.
bridge stories.
Yeah. This is a fun project too. This was our big project. It's a big road over Big Run.
Big road.
So it goes without
over
saying.
Run.
Brook, because Stony Brook was right down the street from my house. Stony Brook Lane, because the neighbors had like a big party when you guys finished that one.
Right. Yeah. Kind of a
Neighbors
dead
were
end
pretty
street.
happy when you guys finished that project.
Yes. So this particular project is in Franklin Township, was a bridge rehabilitation project. Looking into 2018, we plan to replace Boer Road Bridge over Patzer Ditch. That's in Jackson Township. Will be a coordinated project with Jackson Township as well as Grove City. This is Livingston Avenue Bridge over Black Lake Creek, close to Reynoldsburg. And so the 2018 recommended bridge infrastructure budget is $7.5 million. So now we'll move into the emergency response program. And our key results measures have been met. And as far as budgeting goes, the emergencies are hard to plan for, but we look at a historical occurrences and use past years to build from. And that brings us to the amount of $437,000 for 2018. And now the survey program. Again, our key result measures are being met or exceeded. Summary of work in 2017. A list of work on horizontal control monuments, vertical control monuments, geodetic control monuments, and survey requests that we receive from various agencies and within our own office. The 2018 recommended budget for survey is $1.2 million. Now the mapping program. The key result measure is being met as well. Highlights from 2017. We have about 25,000 property conveyances, over 3,000 parcel splits, 36 subdivision plats reviewed, 142 condominium plats reviewed, annexation plats, multiple new addresses assigned, and this past year we issued the new Franklin County Highway Map and Atlas. So that's the 2017 to 2019 edition. Recommended budget for mapping in 2018 is $759,627. And this component is from the general fund, whereas the other programs so far have been from the auto license and gas tax fund. I'd like to include a couple other slides of programs that we're working on. This slide is with the County Sheriff's Department for weight enforcement. There are 2 full-time deputies that work on this program along with 1 person from our office, and fines are levied in the amount of about $286,000 so far this year, and those fines are split between the Road and Bridge Fund, and then the other 50% goes to the Law Library. Sheriff's Department's great to work with on this program, do very, very good work. Also want to include a slide about our energy efficient fleet, and you can see that we have about 8 hybrid vehicles of various sorts and 1 that is compressed natural gas. And our total fleet amounts to about 124, 125 vehicles altogether. We'll be looking into the future with Smart Columbus, and we'll consider an electric vehicle to add to the fleet as well. So this pie chart brings all the programs together. It's the pumpkin pie chart, looks like to me. And you can see the various size pieces of pie there, and they all together add up to $42.6 million. So now we'll move into the other budget presentation. This is for the stormwater management program, where our partners to the left will add in as we move through the presentation, I'll start off with some work that we've done as the drainage engineer. In Franklin County, we have 215 petition ditches. Those include 94 miles of open ditches and 147 miles of tiled ditches. Projects that we worked on in 2017, Dellinger Ditch in Prairie Township, Morris Ditch in Brown Township, Haynes Ditch in New Albany, Kaler Ditch in Blendon Township, Krebs Ditch in Pleasant Township, Cosgrave Ditch number 2 in Dublin, Hensel Ditch in Pleasant Township, Hessler Ditch in Blendon Township, and Infirmary Ditch in Columbus. This was in partnership with PFM.
Names ditches.
Pardon me?
Who names them?
There's a bit of history, and it seems like many of them are tied to past property owners, and I want to double check with my compadres here to make sure I'm...
Yeah.
Okay, yep, so a lot of history there with property owners.
Okay.
So in 2018, projects that we have planned, Plum Run in Jackson Township, another section of Haynes Ditch in New Albany, Foley Ditch in Prairie Township, Alder Ditch in Brown Township, Coble, Baird, and Rainier Ditch in Madison Township, and Opossum Run in Pleasant Township. So now we'll move into the Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District's portion of the presentation. Jennifer?
Together, we have a lot of outreach programs and such as Franklin Justice, so I did put together packets. Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District provides critical assistance, there it is, to the county drainage engineer to assist with permit compliance. We coordinate and compile annual reports to Ohio EPA with information from 17 townships, 1 village, 3 county agencies. And we actively participate on the county stormwater executive committee to assist with program development and coordination, including presentations to township trustees and mapping of stormwater structures in unincorporated Franklin County. Franklin Soil and Water staff have a great understanding of stormwater programming and permit compliance with 3 certified stormwater professionals and over 15 years of experience. We work with several professional organizations, including Ohio Stormwater Association and Builders Exchange, to stay on top of the latest stormwater developments, network with professionals statewide, and reach out to local developers and contractors, and support MORPC on their regional water resource protection goals. I currently serve on the board of the Ohio Stormwater Association. Franklin Soil and Water has memberships with BX and BIA, and I am the vice chair of MORPC Water Resources Group. Franklin Soil and Water does not have parks like Metro Parks or Franklin Park Conservatory, but we do provide important programming and messaging. We strive to meet people and partners where they are at. We are often in the background working with many partners as possible, which is challenging for our visibility, but it is effective. We reach out to residents through local garden centers, lawn care companies, local government partners, community events, newsletters, social media, and paid advertising. We have garden displays at 11 garden centers through our Gardening for Clean Water program, a Central Ohio Rain Garden initiative. We are also very active with Franklin County Schools, where we have excellent reputation with curriculum coordinators and school teachers. We've developed many interactive programs, including pollution detective plays and a life-size soil tunnel that we can bring to schools. County funding is critical to the quality and effectiveness of our programs, and we strive to ensure that Franklin County Commissioners are recognized as partners on all of our programs. Our programs provide strong support to the Commissioner's updated commitment to environmental protection and environmental sustainability passed on June 13, 2017, as well as the Franklin County program, stormwater program. We have a strong conservation program supported by some of the best data sets in the nation. As a result, we've been recognized nationally and locally for our natural resource information. We are out in the field most of the year, mapping our stream resources, home sewage treatment systems, stormwater structures, and identifying pollution sources. When we find pollution, we work with Franklin County Public Health, the environmental sheriff, and SWACO's It's a Crime program to eliminate pollution where we find it. Here's an example how our natural resource data and conservation know-how work together to get targeted conservation on the ground. For this, we found an opportunity to get into a small stream to mitigate the impacts of stormwater volumes and bacteria from failing septic systems. We're taking material used for mitigating bacteria and placing it in the stream bed, and an additional benefit to this is it slows down the stormwater, results in soil deposition, and then raising of the stream beds. This helps with wildlife, water quality, and recreation. We are now working with the city of Reynoldsburg and Ohio EPA to put another one of these projects in Dysart Run, and we're also working with Friends of the Lower Olentangy Watershed to find another location for a similar project. This is a demonstration project, so we are monitoring the results with our staff who are certified water quality professionals. This year we're able to also protect a critical wetland with a Baptist church in the Big Walnut watershed through our conservation easement program, and we did this with Clean Ohio funds and funding from the Franklin County Commissioners. Our public outreach program sophistication is quickly catching up to our conservation and mapping programs in our breadth and effectiveness. We have targeted campaigns to raise public awareness and increase participation in conservation practices with the ultimate goal of changing public behavior and improving water quality. Our programs are countywide with support from the county commissioners, City of Columbus, and multiple municipalities. They are designed so that any community or business can take ownership in the program, and as a result, they're all branded separately. Our Community Backyards program has been running for 7 years. Any resident in Franklin County can take an online course or quiz or participate in an in-person workshop. With their participation, they receive a rebate of $50 for an installed rain barrel, compost bin, or native plant. The end goal is to increase resident awareness of the impacts of stormwater and also reduce the amount of stormwater coming off their property. We also have our Pick Up Poop campaign, our Get Grassy campaign, our Water Quality Partner campaign, and they all have targeted messaging, advertising, multiple partners, and participation incentives. And that's why I provided you the information, because the handouts I provide you can do more justice than going through each one of these programs with you. Our newest outreach I did want to call to your attention is our Be the Change for Clean Water messaging program that we're working closely with MORPC and the County Drainage Engineer and 9 soil and water conservation districts. The idea here is to develop regional messaging campaign that will identify key messages and develop professional marketing that will be flooded across Central Ohio through our partners, public, nonprofit, and private, through paid advertising. And we already started the campaign with some limited funding, so if you want to check it out, go to BeTheChangeForCleanWater.org and you'll get an idea of where we're going with that program. We are kicking off our conservation fund in, wrong order here. With our funding total request of $589,000, we anticipate leveraging $265,000 in state matching funds and $520,000 in municipal funding. Additionally, we are bringing in $3 million in WRSSP funding from Ohio EPA with Metropolitan Sewer District in Cincinnati as a sponsor to restore 200 acres of land in the Big Darby watershed. State matching funding continues to decrease, and we are striving to find additional funds to supplement the loss of those state match funds. This includes local government funding, grants, and private fundraising. We are kicking off a conservation fund in 2018 to develop a larger pot of money for implementing conservation projects, as well as the help program staffing funds, or fund program staff. This includes opening a fund at the Columbus Foundation and working with our nonprofit partners. And I wanted to bring this to your attention because any support over the next year, I'll talk to the county commissioners and see what support we can get for bringing visibility and maybe funding leads to this effort. With your leadership, Franklin County and Central Ohio is increasingly being recognized nationwide as a great place to live, work, and play. Franklin Stormwater Conservation District is doing everything we can to ensure we have clean water, excellent rivers and streams, and programming that is competitive with our urban counterparts nationwide. Thank you for your support. Yeah, there you are.
All right, good afternoon. Again, I'm Nikki Lemon with Franklin County Public Health, and I'm going to cover some of the accomplishments that we've had in 2017 and what we're looking at moving forward into 18. Our operation and maintenance program, we inspect over 3,000 of these aeration treatment units, household sewage treatment systems. This is one particular type. Our permit year runs from September 1st through October 31st. Our first observations compliance rates have remained steady over the past 5 years, which is really good. Prior to the 2013-14 permit year, our compliance rates were a lot lower. One of the things that we changed at that time was the hiring of 2 environmental health technicians who provide more one-on-one interaction and education to the system owners, whether that is the owner of the home or the tenant living in the home. So what we saw was an increase in that compliance rate. So our process is to go out, the environmental health technician will conduct an observation, provide that education, and these rates are how they were after that first observation. We also, for the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, this we manage through the Ohio EPA. This year, for this 2016-2017 funding period, we were able to repair or replace 47 failing systems. And actually, the $240,000 is actually closer, it's $260,000. We were able to get some more systems in to the EPA before their deadline for reimbursement. So, and we had $300,000 available to us from the EPA to repair or replace those systems. So we get nothing in return for that. There is no funding that comes our way for administering that program, but it has a very significant impact on the failing systems in Franklin County. We also continue to be part of the Water Quality Partnership in the county. We partner with the sanitary engineer and also with economic development on this and the county commissioners. And this year, if you recall, that Water Quality Partnership offers financial assistance to homeowners that qualify. And so in the Leonard Park subdivision in Mifflin Township, we were able to provide assistance to 19 property owners in order to connect them to public water. There were approximately, I believe, 60 homes in that project area. 19 qualified, applied and qualified for the assistance through economic development. And then the Eureka Park project in Franklin Township is currently underway, and we expect to have 20 residences connected to sanitary sewer by the end of this year. As far as sewage treatment system mapping, this is a really great partnership with Franklin Soil and Water. We were able to map over 300 systems in various townships and municipalities in the county. And we are charged also through the Ohio Administrative Code to complete this inventorying and inspection of all household sewage treatment systems within our jurisdiction. It's a daunting task, and so this partnership that we have with Franklin Soil and Water is really key in us being able to continue to move forward with that. One of the areas that we identified for 2017 during last year's presentation was furthering the development of our small flow on-site sewage treatment system program. This is also another program that we administer on behalf of the Ohio EPA. We have an agreement with them to manage this, conduct the inspections, investigate any failing systems on their behalf, so that we know that in Franklin County it's being done, that it hasn't always been in the past. And so we were able to add 52 systems to the program this year. We now have a total of 474 of those small flows, and these are, if you think of them as commercial sewage treatment systems, what a business would have that's not connected to sanitary sewer. And then we issue permits for the installation and the surveillance of those systems. With respect to sewage nuisances, we received 198 complaints during 2016. We confirmed 146 of those. 91 of those violations that we confirmed were illicit discharges to the MS4s, and 55 of those were non-illicit discharges. With respect to the disposition of those complaints, as of the middle of November, 90 of those illicit discharges to the MS4 have been abated. They've been corrected. One was approved for the WPCLF funds through the EPA, I believe at 100%. 52 of the non-illicit discharges have been abated, and so we currently only have 3 systems that are under investigation or enforcement. Looking ahead to 2018, we did apply and receive funding from the EPA with respect to the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund for the 2017-18 funding cycle for $150,000. Up to half of that can be used to connect qualifying property owners to existing sanitary sewer, which is new. So that's something that our office is coordinating with the sanitary engineer as well. Every once in a while, properties pop up that we're not aware that they weren't connected. And so this is great for that money to be available. We did apply for the 2018-19 funding cycle for $200,000. That was the maximum, but we've not yet heard from the EPA what our funding amount may be. But we will continue to expand our operation and maintenance program as we install, or as new sewage treatment systems are installed within our jurisdiction. We are required to place them into that operation and maintenance program so that they're inspected on a regular basis. We will continue to expand our small flow and semi-public program. We do have one full-time FTE. Bob Seelock is a registered sanitarian in our office that his primary focus is on that semi-public small flow system, as well as our operation and maintenance program. He's the primary sanitarian that accompanies Franklin Soil and Water on the mapping that we do. We will continue to evaluate the areas of concern that were identified several years ago, and then to detect and eliminate illicit discharges to the MS4s, also required from the NPDES permit. And again, we do thank you for your continued support. It helps extremely with our water quality program, and I hope you all see that we're able to make a difference out there with respect to water quality because of the funding that we receive from you, so thank you.
Good afternoon, Amelia Costanzo, Planning Manager with MORPC. As you're well aware, MORPC is a voluntary association of over 60 local governments, and we're able to provide them with a lot of collaboration assistance, actual funding in some regards, education, and then also technical assistance. Franklin County Commissioners and Franklin County Engineers' support of MORPC's Greenways program is an integral part of the work that we do, and so I'll focus on those items today. In 2017, we were able to accomplish a lot of things with and for those member communities, many of which are here in Franklin County. One of the things is the work that we do related to multi-use trails and hosting and coordinating different types of regional education outreach efforts with regard to those trails, both water trails and our multi-use trails. Our Central Ohio Greenways Board was successful in launching a new website which provides people with information on how to safely access multi-use trails, keep our roads safer, and provide people with actual access to trails to walk, bike for transportation and recreation. The Greenways Board was also able to create branding and signage to be consistent throughout the county and beyond when people are out using the trails, similar to signage on the roadways. So that was a major success that all of our communities are eager to implement, and you'll see those signs popping up in the coming years. We were also able to develop a working group to implement Sustaining Scioto adaptive management plan that addresses the changing needs of water utilities with regard to increasing and more sporadic rain events and the flooding that comes with that and water quality issues that come with that. So the subcommittee has started meeting already and has big plans for 2018 as well. We were also able to partner with the Greater Columbus Arts Council at the Arts Festival this year for Riverfest, which is our annual education and outreach event, where everyone sitting at this table is involved, and I know I saw some of you there as well. We were able to put 500 people out on the water this year for free, providing them with that direct access to the water so that they can then have a connection to it and ultimately change their behaviors and be better stewards of our water quality. We also were able to revamp our regional sustainability program, which used to be called the Central Ohio Green Pact, that had over 30 local governments signed on, committed to working towards different goals related to sustainability. It's now called Sustainable 2050, and it's our way of providing technical assistance to our member communities to help move forward different programs, one of which being water quality and stormwater runoff issues. So in 2018, we will, of course, continue partnering with all of our other funders. In addition to Franklin County, we have Metro Parks and Columbus Department of Public Utilities providing funding to us for our Greenways program. We partner heavily with Franklin Soil and Water, as Jennifer had mentioned. Some things that we're going to be focusing on is promoting and educating those local community members on green infrastructure best management practices when it comes to roadways and trails and how to address stormwater runoff with green infrastructure. We also are going to continue supporting and providing technical assistance to local watershed groups, which obviously is that grassroots way of helping to improve water quality and stormwater runoff issues at the local level. The Water Resources Working Group, co-chaired by Jennifer Fish, will continue to facilitate and implement the action plan that is set forth, again, tying directly to roadways, green infrastructure, stormwater, and water quality. Our Central Ohio Greenways Board will continue to facilitate, implement, and fundraise with regard to the multi-use trails, again, tying it back to the goals of Franklin County Engineer to have safer roadways and us as a region being able to provide people with more ways to get around. Central Ohio Blueways is a project we're going to launch this year. The whole idea, similar to the Greenways multi-use trails, is providing people with information to safely and legally access the waterways for paddling, fishing, etc. A part of that will be branding and signage similar to the multi-use trails, but also tied into bridges so that people can identify where they're located when they're on those waterways for a safety purpose. And then again, with Riverfest, we are looking to hold that again this summer, hopefully get more than 500 people out on the water, and hoping to partner with Franklin County Engineers on having their touch truck there and maybe have some demonstration of the bridge surveying, is that the right term?
Inspection.
Bridge inspection there so that people can have a better understanding of what it is our engineers do for the community. So with that, we thank you and for your support. In the years past, it's been $50,000, and that's what we're asking for again, which is about 25% of the budget for our Greenways program.
Okay, and I believe that brings us back to the grand total for the stormwater management program in 2018. The recommended amount is $2.1 million, and for the most part, this comes from the general fund. And I think that concludes our joint presentations. I think they can be summarized in one word: infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, I mean roadway infrastructure, bridge infrastructure, stormwater infrastructure, sewage infrastructure, environmental infrastructure. Good infrastructure is critical to a thriving economy. Maintaining the infrastructure is a job creator itself, and good infrastructure promotes good development, both residential and commercial. So that concludes our presentations, and if you all have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those for you.
I feel like I just got the primer on infrastructure. I don't know if I have any questions.
Okay.
I don't have any questions, although it is notable that, you talk about infrastructure, it's also about safety, and
Yes.
when we talk about the waterways and greenways and everything else, it's, it's all things. It's infrastructure, it's safety, it's leisure, it's
Absolutely.
it's about the habitat, it's about all things. So it is no small thing to look to our budget and look at the general fund as well as the gas tax and see where the dollars all come from. And there's a lot that is funded through both the gas tax and some through the general fund, and we have a commitment to safe and environmentally friendly community. And to balance all of that, we look to the general fund to help us do that. And without having those funds available again, I don't know what we do.
When we talk about the stormwater program and the mapping program, those general fund dollars are vital. Without those general fund dollars, we would have to look to other alternatives, which also have a cost to meet those regulatory standards. And that, one of those options would have to be a countywide stormwater fee. So there are, or you look at a reduction in your service level if you look at cuts, which during the recession in 08, 09, you had to rely on the cash balances of accounts such as the stormwater fund to get through that period of time. So these things are vital, and to look to the mapping program. That's pretty much a general fund activity. To do anything otherwise would require approval of the state. To look to the REA fund, for example, would require the approval of the state tax commission. We've asked the state tax commissioner in prior years for that authorization, and we were not approved, so.
And I know that, you know, with public health at the table, we look at the safety of, again, looking at the illicit discharges. And we've got to make those examinations that you do happen, and I don't know what else we would do. And Jennifer, with your work, I don't know what else we do, and with protecting the greenways as Morpsey does and has done for many years, I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have the dollars available.
One of the core principles of this board is environmental sustainability, and you just saw it in this presentation. Big part of that.
And Cornell, your work on the safety of our roads and bridges is essential.
Yes, ma'am.
And doing that is essential, you know? So, here we are. Anybody have any questions?
Okay.
Good presentation. Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
All right, see everybody at 6 o'clock at Memorial Hall.
Can't wait.
Mr. Vincent,
Oh, yeah, he'll be there.
I'm sure.